Happy Sagittarian Day to each and every one of you guys. Thank you so much for joining us today. I had to make sure I keep off the disturbances. To each and every one of you guys, if this is your first time in my live, my name is Chief Apostle Samuel Jr. I am the apostle and pastor of Apostolic Faith of Jesus Christ Incorporated, and my beliefs are deeply rooted in the ATRs. The ATRs are the African traditional religions by which we harness, direct, and disperse energy, frequency, and vibration. To each and every one of you guys, thank you for joining our live. These lives are for melanated people. As above, so below, we're talking about Saturn, and we're talking about Capricorn energy. What's up, Mama Susan, Gemini in the house? Also, I want to say a salutation to my Madrina, to my Padrino, to my Oba, to all of my brothers and sisters in E5, Voodoo, Santeria, Lakumi, Congo, Palo, Mystic, and Adjes. To all of those that are in the church practicing the ATR, salutations to you as well. And those that have left the church, probably for good reason, probably, but still it got church influence when it comes down to conjure, mysticism, and the arts. I want to say thank you to each and every one of you guys. I did put a memo out. This live is for grown and mature people. I am here to teach real magic, real conjure, real mysticism. What it's all about, how to utilize the universal laws to manifest for yourself, whether you are a air sign or a fire sign or water sign or a earth sign. To each and every one of you guys that understand why it is important to be a part of a community that understands what real magic is. The endeavor that I do is to constantly try to teach melanated people so they have the opportunity to grow in their spirituality. I do not teach my personal beliefs or practices. I teach universal laws because they apply and are applicable to each and every one of us. It doesn't matter if you're intermediate or advanced or where you're a beginner. Maybe you're an onlooker and just trying to have a better understanding about the flow of energy when it comes down to the earth realm or the universal systems that are out here in the cosmos. To each and every one of you guys, thank you so much. And I appreciate each and every one of you for being a part of our platform. I also want to say hello and salutations to my Pisces, Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Aquarius, Cancer, Capricorn, Leo, Sagittarius, Scorpio, Libra, and Virgo. Thank you to each and every one of you guys for being with us on today. I want to talk about when it comes down to conjure, especially dark matter, melanin, what it is. When we talk about melanin, we're talking about carbon energy, the building block of life force energy. I also want to say in my intro, what's up there? Raina in the house, my Gemini. Got two Geminis. The reason why I say this, even though I'm a pastor and apostle in ministry, when it comes down to the ATRs, you, sir or ma'am, cannot take the mythology or the mindset or the rules and regulations that we run the church, whether it's a black church or a white church or a Latino church, and take these principles, take these ideas into the ATRs. ATRs, people that don't understand history, Christianity was derived out of Kemet and Egyptology. A lot of the folklore that is in the Bible really was come out of Kemet. And so therefore, when you don't understand that that is still dark matter, African magic, African spirituality, you think you are serving something apart from what everybody else is practicing, even though they may practice these rituals differently than most Christians. The reason why a lot of Christians have problems in the ATR is what we're going to talk about today. What's up, my Bo ass in the house? This is, and I'm going to preface this again. This is for grown people. This is for the mature. People that really want to understand magic. Everybody that does magic or works with magic does not want or trying to understand it. And therefore, they're going to find themselves in situations, circumstances. Some intentional and some unintentional. Whether it was intentional or unintentional, you're still going to end up in some form of trouble. I want to speak to growth, to the development, to evolve. What is the purpose of practicing magic and you're not trying to evolve? What's the purpose of getting initiated if you're not trying to evolve? Every one of these sciences is about evolving, not devolving, evolving us into our actual deified version of ourselves, whether you're a goddess or a god. Being a soul that came down here to experience divinity and energy and frequency and vibration, and be able to utilize energy, frequency, and vibration, or magic in a resounding manifestation. The reason why I say this, what's up, crab cakes in the house? The reason why I say this, because when it comes down to understanding, the Bible says it like this: in all you're getting, get understanding. You want to have clarity when you're performing magic. I don't care if it's root work, I don't care if it's church magic, I don't care if it's working with Allah, I don't care if it's working with Malika or Ganesh. It's not about the spirits and the deities. It's about your understanding of who you are and how your energy affects people, places, and things. In the age of Aquarius, facts matter. In the age of Aquarius, you're going to have the opportunity to understand what it means to be an individual. Aquarius energy also seeks the future. So actions will affect humanity in the future. So an Aquarian is going to be fixated on how the future looks. This is why most Aquarians or Aquarian placement, they have anxiety, because they're always worried about tomorrow. It's natural to focus on it. What is not natural is to worry yourself to the point now you can't live in today for worrying about tomorrow. Just some side notes. I want to talk about this subject. My subject is challenging authority, but not without consequences. And I want to break down this word that we use in the church, rebuke. Because a lot of us are out here utilizing terminology, whether we have a clear understanding of what it is or not. And I have often said, if you want to practice Christianity, stay in Christianity. The mere fact that my lives are geared to ATRs, I understand how things connect. And I'm able to communicate through the Bible the personification of the divine in the ATRs. Helping black Christians understand that we are all connected to the same source. And because you call that source by a different name does not change the energy. the frequency or the vibration. And because a lot of us don't understand that Yahshua was never a Christian, he practiced the black arts. And that's not how they spoke. That's not how they spoke to themselves. Neither was that how they spoke to the deity. One of the things, by definition, rebuke means to express sharp disapproval. So to rebuke something, my ex-wife used to do that. Oh, I rebuke that. You don't even know if it's true. Just because you disagree with a prophecy, just because you disagree with a word doesn't make it not true. Rebuking it does not change the nature of what was said or spoken. If you're rebuking facts, facts ain't gonna change. You having a strong, sharp disapproval or criticism of someone because of their behavior or actions. Rebuke means to reprimand. Now, I want to say this because some people have been following me a very long time. If you have a problem with my personality, if you have a problem with my humor, if you have a problem with the way that I convey myself, as a grown man or woman, because you're not going to change me, you need to tell me, Apostle, I will prefer you not to address me in such a manner. And I can make the decision whether I'm going to fuck with you ever again, or will I appease based off of the rationale of what you're requesting. That I may make those adjustments because I am a Sagittarius. I'm a mutable sign. My moon is in Aries and my rising sign is Pisces. If you rebuke somebody, you are reprimanding them for their behavior or their actions. I need you to understand, every Christian or people, and some of you guys ain't even Christians. You're just taking terminology that you heard in the church. That's like you're not initiated, but you talking about Alofi, Oludamari. You're not even initiated. Yes, the term you're saying is correct. Maybe the pronunciation is correct, but you yourself are not a part of that community. But you're utilized. Isn't that the same thing we say about non-melanated people? Culture stealing, taking our mannerisms, our how we convey ourselves, and make it their own. You have not made one step. You have not gotten baptized in the Holy Ghost, which is divine feminine. You're not a Christian. You have not been sanctioned in the church world as an apostle, a pastor, teacher, or evangelist. You're not even a person that is a spirit-filled believer in that particular pantheon. But you're utilizing terminology that you've heard from people that are really into those traditions or those religions. What's up there, my Demetrius? This grown folks out. You can challenge authority, but not without consequences. Black people, black women, black men. I'm going to give some examples of what Yahshua was doing. I'm going to be coming from Judges, the 1st chapter, verse 9. I'm going to walk the back of the Bible. First, verse 9. It says, thank you for joining us. It says, yet Michael, the archangel. I want to clarify. Michael was an archangel. He said, when contending with the devil, he disputed about the body of Moses. They were having an argument. These spiritual beings were having an argument, a debate, if you will, over the body of Moses. Michael and the devil. Durst not bring against him a railing accusation. So the accuser of the brother was accusing the brother, but said, the Lord rebuke thee. Why did you bring that up? Why did you bring up Jude, the first chapter, verse 9? Because Michael, being an archangel, did not outrank Satan, Lucifer, or the devil. He is a seraphim. I'm going to say this again. To try to rebuke somebody or reprimand somebody of a higher status is not good. So what he said was, the Lord, he didn't rebuke you. This is why the Bible says, whatever you do in word or deed, do it in the name of the Lord or Yahshua. Because you don't have the authority to rebuke or reprimand Satan, Lucifer, or the devil. So all of y'all that even believe that people are quote unquote demonic, you don't have the authority to rebuke or reprimand. So the archangel said, the Lord rebuke you. He didn't say, I rebuke you. He said, the Lord rebuke you. Even angels and spirits of hierarchy understand rank and file. Only black Americans think that they have authority or jurisdiction to rebuke some goddamn body. I cannot rebuke my mother. I cannot rebuke my father. I can debate them. I can challenge. Now let me explain this, because I want to be very clear about what I'm doing. When I challenged my mother, I was challenging not her motherhood and her placement in my life. I was challenging her ideas and belief that she can control my life. Come on here, somebody. When I challenged my mother-in-law, I did not challenge her by how she ran her church. I challenged her because I was married to her daughter, and what we had going on had nothing to do with her or her church. I challenged her also, both of my mother-in-laws, with their daughters, because their daughters were carrying my name. I wasn't just out here challenging people. I was challenging people in the confinements I had authority. You can't tell me what to do when I'm the head of household. You might run your house, you might run your church, but you ain't goddamn it, you're not gonna run my house. I had a right to challenge the ideas, the positioning, and the authority. If you don't like what I do, how I do it, you have every right up under the sun to not go along with it. But you don't have a right to rebuke me in the open, because I outrank you in so many ways. The lack of authority. This is why I talk about universal laws. Saturn is about authority. It's about rank and order. To rebuke me, I would have to be out of order. That's what the archangel was telling the devil, that he was out of order. And the reason why he was rebuking him is to bring him back in order regarding the conversation about the body of Moses. So what are you rebuking people for? Because people don't have to believe what you believe. People don't have to do magic the way that you do magic. They don't have to perform rituals. In the confinements of their religion and tradition, they may be exactly right about what they're doing. Only Christians or people that believe they're Christian. And only reason some of y'all believe you Christian because you think it's important for you to be able to force your ideas, your ways, and your belief system on other people. To say that I'm a type of person you can't talk to, that's not true. I don't care how high I evolve. I can have a conversation with anybody. But when you start using terminology, what you were saying yesterday was rebuking me for being out of order, when I was well within my order of how I function. And if you don't like something about what I'm doing, be a man or woman and let me know. And I will determine. Aloha, Miranda. This is really important because a lot of y'all gonna get in trouble. You're gonna take that terminology and that verbiage over into the ATR, and people gonna have a problem with that. Even if they don't understand what you're saying. Because everybody wasn't raised up in the church. And black people think they can filter how they believe and what they believe in and how they live their life with everybody else. And we're in the season of Cancer. And Cancer don't believe in respecting boundaries. They don't believe in respecting markers that were set up. They want you to respect their boundaries, but they don't want to respect other people's boundaries. They want respect for certain things. And they dare you to disrespect them. But they'll disrespect you all day long. If you allow it. Criticize. I remember my Cancerian mother said, "Oh, I can have you as a husband." I don't know how my daughter put it with you. I'm a Sagittarius. I looked at her. I said, "I never asked for your sorry hand in marriage. Your criticism of people that they're not in contract with you is irrelevant. What do you think I'm a man or a mouse is irrelevant. I'm not in contract with you. Whether you think I'm worth it or not worth it at all, your opinions are only relevant to you. Sometimes when you come out your mouth, you ain't thinking about that rebuttal. You think that the only person gonna have a right to say something is you. You can express your feelings all day long, and I encourage you to, but it would not be without consequences. When my son decided to get on social media to challenge me, I'm a fire sign. I'm a dominant energy. I welcome your challenge. I don't give a fuck who you are. If you want to challenge my knowledge, my wisdom, my experience, my sexual, challenge what you want to, but be ready for the consequences. Y'all black people don't like consequences. You want to do stuff and talk about, no, you're not sorry. You intended. Just and you meant what you said. You did not know the consequences that were gonna come behind that. Let me go on. Acts rebuking. Acts of one's authority to challenge or command evil spirits to depart. When you step in the arena and you tell somebody, I rebuke you, you're stepping in your personal authority. You're stepping into your personal power. Let me be clear about what you're doing. When my wife said she rebuked what I said, she was challenging me as her husband. And I will fuck you up. I don't care who you are. My kids were, oh, I said, listen, I got a divorce to keep from killing your mama. Because women that are in Christianity, they feel like they can challenge your authority. And I don't care what the conferences they go through, I don't put up with it. I don't speak for every man, I speak for me. I'm not speaking for your daddy. I ain't speaking for your uncle or your cousin. I'm a black American man that's in the ATRs, and I practice black magic heavily. And I ain't finna let no ass that point to the ground challenge me without consequence. I don't care who you are. I don't care what our relation here. I don't care how adjacent. If you don't respect authority, then you not operating with Saturnian energy. The mere fact that you're challenging your superiors, do you know how it's, because some of you don't know. In the army, when you bring as a private, when you bring an allegation against your sergeant, your lieutenant, your captain, it's gonna be some consequence. I'm saying if the allegations are even true, let's start with that. Even if your allegation is true, it will not go unchecked. Because your rank is gonna cause you all the kind. Some of you guys are trying to grow into spirituality the wrong way. You cannot dismiss somebody's status or rank in the spirit world because you got a problem. I don't care if you don't even believe in their gods or goddesses or deities. It doesn't even matter. That still doesn't put you in a position to challenge them. And when you challenge somebody, always know they're gonna fight you from where they are, not where you are. This is why we use the cliche in black people's conversation. If you can't run with the big dogs, stay on the porch. When you decide that, what's the last part of that? Who in the hell left the gate open? That little dog did all that barking. Every time that big dog came around, he did all blah blah. One day, somebody forgot to lock that gate. Some of y'all out here running y'all trap, running your mouth. But one day, the door gonna be left open, whether it's intentional or unintentional. We don't give a goddamn. You had all that mouth. Now you gonna have to back it up on today. And I'm gonna step in your yard. Cause a lot of y'all talk in the comfort of confinement. I'm gonna say that again. A lot of y'all talk the trash that you talk in the safety and comfort of your confinement, whether it's your state of mind or your state of emotion or your religion or your belief system, or in your little hut called an elay, in your church. You got rank over there. That don't mean you rank universally as the number one seed, as the number one team, as the number one player. See, when you get out here in these waters called life, shit change. You might be the first number one quarterback on your team. The Redskins. When you come over here fucking with the Cowboys, You on rank like that. Some of y'all need to consider when you dealing with other people and other traditions, you might be the head Babala over there, but you'll get fucked up over here in Haitian voodoo because we don't care nothing about your rank. You gonna have to bring it, bruh, or sis. And since we don't see no male or female, we gonna kick your ass no matter whether you're a queen or whether you're a king or whether you're a fucking emperor. Your status will better speak unto you and for you. I'm just letting you know universally where people be coming from. You might be the baddest root worker in South Carolina, but motherfucker, you in North Carolina now. You might be the baddest witch in down south, but bitch, you over here up north, and we don't play that shit. You might be the baddest Polaro down here as a Cuban, but there's Latino sister over here will fuck you up as a yaya. Because you pull rank with your own clan don't mean you the baddest wolf in the pack. Praise God. Luke, the 4th chapter. Hallelujah. Luke, the 4th chapter. We're going to read 35, the 35th verse, and then 39th verse. And 35. It said, and Jesus rebuked him, knowing that if you think about it, it's always somebody in authority rebuking somebody that's not in authority or up under the authority. Jesus, both put 35 and 39 of the same chapter, the 4th chapter. So here's Jesus. When we say mama said or daddy said, that overrides. I remember my son was trying to get his brother to ask me for some snacks. And I don't know what happened between him leaving the bedroom to come and talk to me. But what his brother told me, he said, oh, Trey said. And Trey word, what the fuck I supposed to, cause Trey said? That's his older brother. Just because you put respect on his name. So Trey was laughing and said, you got my name disrespected. Because you in there talking about, he said, I told you to ask Dad. Can we get it? His brother came in and said, Trey said. See, some of y'all going around here and don't understand. These spirits know Jesus or Yahshua. And they know Paul. But who the fuck are you? You right here talking like Obatala or Oshun or Eligba deserve your presence. When you're not even initiated to be making them kind of demands. And I will be careful when you dealing with deities with demands. I go on. And he said, saying, hold thy peace and come out of her. And the devil had thrown him in the midst and came out of him and hurt him not. See, when you have authority, spirits have to obey. You done already practice enough. Don't come out here in society. Don't come out here among the rest of us and try to play that you got the power. Because if a spirit is under your authority, then you can govern that spirit. The reason why it's taking you so long, because you don't have the authority. You don't have the jurisdiction, and that spirit does not have to obey you. This is what happens to people when they trying to trap spirits, and when them spirits get free of them, they fuck them up. That's what's wrong with a lot of these people that ain't supposed to be in conjure or not supposed to have a pot, and they done called up something they can't put down, and that's even what you call a good spirit. It says in verse 39, I like this. And he stood over her and rebuked the fever and left her, and immediately she arose and ministered unto them. So once again, the purpose of Saturn or rebuking is to bring things in order. Her body was out of order. The Bible said he rebuked the fever and the sickness left. I'm going to say that again. He rebuked he had authority over all unclean spirits, all sickness and disease. And when he rebuked or reprimanded, he stated his disapproval how that energy was moving in her body. And because of who he was, it had to go. So even if you're going to rebuke somebody, make sure they are out of order and need to be brought in order. Make sure that he or she is out of balance and need to be brought into balance. That makes sense? Of course it does. When you're a sane person, you say sane things. When you're an insane person, you say insane stuff. So, let's go on. This is getting good. Saturn is about hierarchy, authority, order, and status. That's why we go through all the ceremonies and all of this to raise up in status. Yes, I'm chief apostle, but I hold a lot of rank. See, unlike you, I pay attention to what I'm a part of, and I know where I rank. I know my status. I know what not to speak about. I know what's, as we say in the black people community, what's above my pay grade. What's above my initials. There was a time I couldn't see what was going on during the ceremonies of Ocha. When my cauldron were being made, the Oba and my Padrino came and got me, because I'm always to myself. And he said, you need to be in here to know what's going in that cauldron. I had the rank and file to be present to watch the mysteries and the secrets be put in my conjurer. I have status. So I don't know how you got to the point in your life or your existence to feel that you can rebuke me. My Padrino don't even rebuke me. My Oba don't. My Madrina. Hold on just a minute, y'all. Sorry about that. Every situation. What's up, Natasha? My Afro DJ. Let me say this, because I always say this when I see Natasha. So it would be very unfair for Natasha been hearing me call her aphrodisiac for how I don't know even how long I've been saying it. And if she had a problem with what I was saying, she has my personal number. She could text me and say, Apostle Ely, I understand your sense of humor and all that, but as a woman, I feel offended. And then I won't do it no more. But she can't turn around after telling me that. And because I address everybody else the way that I always do, now she feels left out. Now she feels not enough. Once you show me that you're too timid to have a conversation, I'm not going to talk to you. When I realize that my personality bothers you, why the fuck would I deal with you? I want y'all to understand. Your feelings does not change my status or my rank. And I don't care if I don't ever put Orisha clothes on or decor on. I am still a Santero. Only thing higher than my office in Ocha is the Babala. Because I don't want to be a Babala. Y'all don't know how to be grown. Y'all don't know how to talk to other grown people. This is why I don't get into it with people and their authority. I did not go and try to change the way my mother-in-law ran her church. I challenged her in what she was trying to do in my marriage and with my child that came out of these squirrel nuts. She was even challenging my dick size. And we were having a debate. And when she said, oh, your dick ain't that big, I said to her, I said, paper cuts hurt too. My dick big enough to make your daughter leave Jacksonville to come down here and live in Vero. I changed zip codes. Whatever size my dick is, it was good enough to get your daughter to change zip codes. It was good enough to get your daughter to leave your house. So this little dick nigga is a threat to your existence because I can have influence that you ain't thought no other man will have. See, I'm not over here challenging people authority when they're doing stuff right. When I challenged my madrina, it was about her order of how she did the business, which was out of order. And I didn't want her nigger rigging Minister Mario, son of a Chosi, crown. See, when you challenge something, even though there's going to be consequences, it's going to change relationship. But it should be over something that is out of order. It should never be because something is in order and you disagree with it. When True Rhonda, me and the Saints always cracking jokes on each other. And I one of the situation was happening and her mom interjected. And she was saying, Dad You know what? She was talking about my mama because my mama always talking about my knees. I got high knees. She a Virgo, so it didn't tell him what she gonna say. But anyway, but she was laughing. I said, wait a minute. If you're gonna get in the circle, get in the circle. You're not gonna stand on the outside and tell jokes and get offended, because I got some jokes for you too. So her mama walked off. I looked at Tree because they were talking about me, I was talking about them. And I said, Tree, you know what I was gonna tell your mama? She's like, what, Daddy? I said, her hair so short, she got to roll it with rice. Why you talking about my knees? I'm fine. Some of y'all can give it, but you can't take it. What was I saying and doing that I don't normally do? What was so different of how I operate? Why would you make what I'm doing like I don't do it to everybody? See, when you come from me, remember I'm a Sagittarius. My moon is in Aries. I declare this all the time. My rising sign Pisces. If you gonna check me, challenge me, or try to clown me, understand there's gonna be consequences. And especially if you're doing an open. Because now I have a mandate to straighten it. Because if anybody gets the idea that they can try the shit you're doing or even greater, it's going to be consequences. That's keeping things in order. Because once you let one child disrespect you, it's a matter of time for the next one. When you let one man disrespect you, it's a matter of time for the next one. When you let one woman disrespect you, it's not going to be long. It's going to be around the corner. So if you want to keep things in order in your life, you got to chin check a bitch. I go on. Matthew, the 8th chapter, verse 26. And it says, and he said unto them, why are ye fearful, O ye of little faith? Now notice that Yeshua is in the position to be rebuking or chastising or reprimanding the disciples. He's the master, they're the learner. Are you clear? You're trying to reprimand your teacher, your elder, your apostle, your chief. Why doesn't that sound ridiculous to you? Now, it says, then he arose and rebuked the winds, the sea, and there was great calm. Once again, him rebuking was in order. He admonished his disciples, and the winds and the sea was out of order. And he rebuked them. And the Bible says, and great calm. Why should you be rebuking people if it ain't gonna bring about peace and calm? Tranquility. When you rebuke up the ranks, you're going to bring disturbance. You're going to cause a disruption. Because everybody above you is going to be looking at you crazy. I have to do it so often. I tell people, who you talking to? Excuse you? My oldest son thought Minister Mario cussing around me. Because we close in age. I said, Mario no cussing around me. It got Mario slipping and cuss around me. And I hate Mario. Alright? Mario. Some of y'all think y'all gonna. Let me tell you something. I was a cussing sailor as a child. But I never thought because my grandmother cursed, my mama cursed, that means I can cuss in front of them. I've never came to that conclusion. I don't care what come out my mouth. Why do you think that you in a place to have that kind of conversation with me? This is why I had one member, I very suddenly picked up the phone because she started. When people want to remove your status and your rank, they're going to try subtle ways of disrespect. And if you allow it, they're going to get more and more. And she would start cussing on the phone. Well, I need to talk to my pastor. That still doesn't constitute you cussing. Do I understand what you're trying to say? But you want to level the playing field. You got to know why people are doing stuff. Everything ain't trying to just downright disrespect you. But some people have subtle ways that they're trying to get in certain spaces and trying to prove that they got special treatment other than other folks. So they try to do certain things. Mario didn't cuss around me. Him and Tree Rhonda cuss. Tree Rhonda don't cuss around me. Mother Susan is 70 years old, and sometimes she get hot, and she cut, and she apologized. Because she knows she's talking to her apostle. And her being 70 years old and me being 52 don't constitute her operating like that with me. Guess what? I never cussed in front of my spiritual dad. I would cuss everybody else ass out, but my spiritual dad, he don't know I cuss to this day. Yeah, like my uncles and auntie, if they come on my live or catch me in the street and come up behind me, they might have heard something. But to sit there and say I'm in a conversation, I barely cuss around my sister. And my sister barely cuss around me. And me and my sister are cussing sailors. It's called respect. It doesn't say that you don't understand the terminology or you don't use the terminology. It's just a matter of respect. Just because your husband or your wife let you disrespect them don't mean other people gonna allow it. So we see another account of rebuking, a person being in authority to do the rebuking, and a situation will call for the rebuke to bring something in order, in harmony. Once again, now 2 Timothy, the 3rd chapter, 16 through 17. It says clearly, it said all scripture is given by the inspiration of God to be profitable. It's very profitable for doctrine or teaching, for reproof, getting something straight. You know, when teacher mark up your paper because your grammar or words ain't in the right space or you ain't got certain spaces, she reproof your page. For correction, when something is out of order, you correct it. When a leg has been broken, you do surgery to correct the fracture. So anything that's being done, if it ain't broke, don't try to fix it. What was going on that needed the rebuke? For instruction in all righteousness, in righteousness, Verse 17 said, that the man of God may be perfect, thoroughly furnished unto all good works. The purpose of rebuking and correcting is to bring things in order so they can function effectively. So every form of magic, every form of magical system, every form of terminology in those systems are really for the evolution of the individual. Somebody being in a higher rank means that they can handle things that you cannot handle. That's not a bad thing. That's a good thing. That's not holding you back. And I want you, every time I challenge your seeing ability, you falter. You want me to take the testimonies that you give about other people regarding your gift, your talent, and your ability. But you don't want to display those gifts in front of me. You are known to tell lies. You're known to exacerbate a situation. See, when you try to perfect the art of manipulation and the art of deception with somebody that came from a crooked ass family, it's going to be a lot more difficult to try to con me, crook me. And normally, and my son said, my dad can know stuff for years and won't say nothing. What I could be knowing what you up to, your endeavors and your motives. That's why I'm making this video, because it's not about my opinion. It's universal law. It's universal truth. And Saturn rules over there. But because you don't have respect for authority, especially male authority, you are disrespectful to other female and their authority. But you are really disrespectful for male authority and black male authority. But I'm the right one. You're in the right space, because there are definitely going to be consequences. And this is what I say to people. If you're not ready for ATRs, if you're not ready to step outside the box, if you're not ready to deal with real dark magic and black magic and conjure and melanin energy, and you don't have a sense of respect in your soul for other people, places, and things that have already paid the price to be what they are, and you're going to be out here haphazardly challenging people's authority, not because something is wrong. When non-melanated people come in here with bullshit, what happens? I get them together. When somebody comes here and tries to joke or roast me, I get them together. I bring it right back into order. I'm a chaos being, and a very powerful one. But I am a disciplined chaos being. My chaos energy is not all over the place. Oya's power that resides in my head is not all over the place. It's a concerted effort. We are in alignment. I have transformative powers. Babalu Aye, I'm a healer, but a more profound and prolific healer now that I've gone through my trials. And I deserve the respect of what I've already accomplished. You have failed every single test that has been given to you, because you think that you ma'am and sir, you can get around universal laws. What's up, Trevon Aries in the house? That's why this is so important. When you're exercising your authority because you come out of Christianity or you have the influence of Christianity, because a lot of you guys that quote the word and talk about the Bible, you don't even go to church like that. You're always trying to get out of church. You're no different than people that just got initiated into one of the ATRs, E-Father, and they have no intention of following the ranks, the rules, the regulation. They just want to say they got their elections. You're no different. Those people couldn't guide you because their life is chaotic. They don't have no discipline. They couldn't make this make sense to you if they so dependent on it. I'm not in the business of warning anymore. I've given you so many chances, but I'm gonna check your ass. I'm gonna check you from the north, check you from the south, check you from the east, check you from the west, check you from above, check you from below, to let you know who the fuck I am. Who I am in the spirit world, who I am as a soul, who I am as an extraterrestrial, who I am as a voodoo priest, who I am as a Santero, who I am as a root worker, a medicine man, a witch doctor, a root doctor, and an obeah conjurer. Not to forget, a Negro romancer. I don't have a problem with you channeling my authority. I have a problem that you don't want to do these consequences. If you want to come in here and act as though I don't know what I'm talking about, you have every right. A debate, I welcome. But when you can't out debate me, don't get mad. What happened to being humble before your elders? A lot of these people, random, this is why the scripture says, why call me Lord and do not what I say? You don't really mean Chief Apostle Samuel Jr. You say that because other people are saying that, but you do not live, you do not follow the instruction of Chief Apostle Samuel Jr. That's why it said, why call me Lord? Why call me teacher? Some of y'all they were calling Yahshua rabbi, which means teacher. Why keep calling these people these names, Madrina, Padrino, and you don't treat them like that? You're only saying that in name only. You really don't believe that. Are you hearing me? I'm not a fool. I don't care how many mothers that I have accumulated through spirituality. I know who my mother is, and none of them come before my mother. Because if it wasn't for her and her womb, I wouldn't be here. If it wasn't for my father, I wouldn't be here. How you gonna step over biology? That's why you can step over what? Your ancestors. You're running after African deities and leaving your ancestors behind. I've never taught that. I've never taught anybody to run after Valoa and Kisi and Pungo or none of these pantheons. Not in ignoring your ancestors, not venerating your ancestors. Who can stand up and say I said that? Because that's out of order. And my destiny star is in Capricorn. So I'm here to raise and rise in status, authority, in divine order. When have I told Tirana here Just because she disagreed with her mother, where did I ever sanction her that you can go and disrespect, dishonor your mama because you in disagreement? Where's my children can say, I told you because I don't agree with your grandmother and I don't agree with your mom, that gives you a right to dishonor and disrespect. What? Tell me where I practice that. Show me with my children, on my job. Tell me where I tell people to do out of order shit. I have a right as a melanated man to challenge the authority of white supremacy. Because biological with science and math, it is not possible for a white man to be the higher source of intelligence. He's not melanated. To reach those heights of intelligence, you need melanin. Everything about white supremacy and their structure proves my point. Because you would not, President Donald Trump would not have had to pass a bill that destroys the middle class. And now it's the rich and the poor. You don't have to do all that if you superior. You don't have to redline. You don't have to create Jim Crow. You don't have to not give people loans that qualify for loans. And then give people that are not qualified because they're white. Now they got businesses. That's what happened to our Asian brothers and sisters. White people, to spite black people, gave y'all jobs, gave y'all businesses. They knew where that money belonged. This is why black women fucked up like they did. That white man was able to give you housing and food stamps to destroy your family. And you took it. He gave you child support, not for you to take care of your family, but to keep him in your baby father business. It ain't never been about you having. Because he don't have a problem with you having. Can I explain? Because you have a pussy. And he has a chance to fuck you. Unless he's gay, white man, he want to fuck your man. But if he heterosexual, he wants to fuck you. And so therefore, he's not going to put you above the white woman. But he will fuck you as his secretary. This is why you always have problems when you climb the rank in this society as a black woman. That's why Kamala Harris, as qualified as she was, that's why she was shot down like a goddamn duck. And when she said these words, which I loved it, but I knew it was going to be a problem. When Kamala Harris said, everybody doesn't inspire to be humble. A recessive gene finds that as a threat. This is why black people have to watch their tone. I'm not going to watch a goddamn thing I say. I don't care what tone I say it in. If you don't want to fuck with me, don't fuck with me. I'm not here to make you comfortable. I'm here to teach you knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. I'm not here to adjust my verbiage in order to accommodate your uneasiness. The shit you doing gonna get you fucked up and disrespected. You don't understand the structure because you don't respect Capricorn. You don't respect Saturn. It's shit in place. It's an engine has already, I ain't talking about gonna be built, already. That's how Donald Trump them doing, utilizing the system that was already not in your favor. And you got the goddamn nerve to not begin your conjure and your lessons and your instruction. So you can climb up the rank. When you climb up the rank, it puts you in a different position of manifestation. If you had any respect for real authority, then you wouldn't be disrespectful to authority. Because if you ever gain that authority or that status, you're going to want to be respected. I didn't have to want to be a pastor. And matter of fact, I told, even when they talking about, my mama said I was going to be a preacher. I ain't think I was going to be a preacher. I want to be a porn star. I had different visions for my life. And after the porn star thing, when I found out I wanted to be a gynecologist, I wanted to be in sexology. I wanted sex. Everything that I was doing while I was young had to do with sex. So if you got a problem with a grown ass man talking about sex and how it relates to spirituality, I'm sorry, you need to find somebody else. I'm not going to talk about the birds and the bees over here. I call it an unk. I call it a phallus. I call it a vagina. And I'm going to say straight out pussy or dick. And if I want to take my Caucasian brother, I'm going to say cock. Cock. I'm not going to tell you I don't challenge authority, because I do. We're in a revolution of energy in Aquarius. But it is for the purpose and the well-being of bringing things in order for humanity. When you're trying to correct somebody or disrupt something, what are you bringing into order? When my mother-in-law told me, because I apologized for some of the shit I did to my wife, my ex-wife, and she said, "You don't think I deserve an apology too?" I said, "Apology for what? Interfering in my marriage? Interfering in me raising my son? Fuck no. You don't deserve no apology for that. If anybody, you should be apologizing for me for interfering in my marriage and interfering in me raising my son. Because you didn't fuck for that, I did." What you do with your husband, how you raise your kid, that's your business. I can agree or disagree, but that's your business. But to be running around here thinking I'm gonna let you do what you do in your life, in my life, oh, you got. I told her that first baby daddy, I ain't here. He a Sagittarius, but we different Sagittarius. I ain't finna go. I was raised by a Virgo and a Cancer. I'm sorry. My grandmother is a Sagittarius and my grandfather is a Sagittarius. I got glaucoma. I can't see this shit. You think I'm gonna let? I ain't let my Virgo rule my life, and I'm gonna let a Cancer rule? Oh no. When you come over here, you gonna put some respect, or there gonna be consequences. I don't care who. You can be 70, 80, 90, or you could be a bambino you can be a baby in the womb. I would travel in your mama's belly and whoop your ass for you even get here. That's what kind of Negro I am. You gonna put some respect on my name, and I'm not gonna beg. People that got authority don't have to. What's the point of begging? Talking to you. I can set up so many snares and traps for your ass. I can humble you in ways you couldn't even imagine. I had one dude kept challenging my authority. He didn't stop until I had him butt naked walking around in Melbourne, Florida. I told his pastor, I would take that nigga mine. I call him Cadillac. I said I would have Cadillac on bricks. Oh, you ain't gonna do that at my. Let him keep fucking with me. Huh? You can challenge whatever you want. You can challenge somebody. Jezebel challenged Elijah. Go ahead. Challenge people all day long. Challenge their elay, challenge their coven, challenge their magic. Challenge. But it will not be without consequences. Because anybody that has earned their rank is not going to allow you to upset and disturb their world. That's not going to do it. You didn't build this. I did. It's not your content that people come here for. It's mine. What I live, what I preach, what I teach, what I exhibit, they come here to hear my jokes. They come here to see what I'm wearing, how much flesh I'm exposing on today, how I look, what color I'm wearing. They come in for multiple reasons. The true hurt. So let's heal and move forward. Let me tell you something. Why this is important. With the understanding that when you go through what you go through to get where you are, you're going to want the same respect. When you heal, if you talk to anybody that's really healed, they're not trying to deal with people that are broken. Because depending on what all you do and did to get that way, to get healed, to get a peace of mind, to get confidence, to get to a financial place that you can do what you need to do, or get from under certain oppressions, whatever you did, generally, that individual, male or female, is not going to allow you to return them back into those positions. And that's the respect that you should incur when you on your healing journey. And when people don't respect your healing and you let them destroy your healing, you deserve the day you get. Because apparently you didn't value the process and the pains that you went through to get healed. The money, the currency, whatever, the mental adjustment, all of that you work hard for. That's what Capricorn is about. Striving, ambition. And you put all of that work in. And you're going to let somebody just come in there and destabilize what you got going on. And let me explain something, y'all. Toxic is toxic. Whether it's toxic positivity or negativity. Understand this. What's up, my Stormy? What you may deem as not being positive, this is Saturn. It's a negative energy. Respecting authority is a negative. Learning what real energy is, frequency and vibration. You cannot have a charge without a negative and a positive. This is why we have been defeated, because some of y'all trying to be so positive. I'm a Sagittarius. If anybody know about positive energy, but you can be so positive till you end up in a negative situation. Because my thing is, you want to see the good in everybody, but overlook the negative in people. Ain't nothing wrong with seeing good in people, but recognize those little foxes. So you don't end up in a situation. This is all I'm saying. A lot of our mindset is also a hindrance. That's right, negative and positive. You can't get a charge without a negative and positive. Always think about when you learn on my platform, think about your battery. If you have any corrosion on the positive or the negative, you can't get a charge. You can't get your vehicle to crank. But once you clean out both of those poles, both, not one, both. That's why I'm teaching in the conjure about planetary magic in the intermediate. When you understand, when you tapping into certain energy, whether it's a positive energy or a negative energy, and how to utilize that energy to manifest. That's why a lot of our terminology is hindering our success because we hear, oh, I don't want that negative energy. No. Stability is a negative energy. Security is a negative energy. You didn't know so much. Structure is a negative energy. Authority is a negative energy. Don't get rid of your negative because you're going to get rid of your ability to charge. Just like charging your cell phone. There are certain things that we have to connect with. I'm Jupiter. Jupiter is a positive energy. So I gain more power through my Capricorn, my destiny star, because that's negative. That's why Minister Mario and me were really good together, because I was a positive charge, he was a negative charge. It's all about energy, frequency, and vibration. I see y'all a little later. I gotta get to Miami. All right. God bless.